Good morning, my dear students. Have you ever thought of why some states in India are performing much better than others in certain areas? Why do Punjab, Haryana, and Himachal Pradesh prosper in agriculture and horticulture? Why are Maharashtra and Gujarat industrially more advanced than others? How come Kerala, popularly known as God's own country, has excelled in literacy, healthcare, and sanitation, and also attracts tourists in such a large numbers? It is all because these states have better infrastructure in the areas they excel than other states of India. Some have better irrigation facilities, others have better transportation facilities, or are located near ports, which make raw materials required for various manufacturing industries easily accessible. What is infrastructure? Infrastructure refers to the supporting services in the main areas of industrial and agricultural production, domestic and foreign trade and commerce. These services include roads, railways, ports, airports, dams, power stations, oil and gas pipelines, telecommunication facilities, educational system, health system including hospitals, sanitary system including clean drinking water facilities, and monetary system including banks, insurance, and other financial institutions. Classification of infrastructure. Infrastructure can be divided into two categories, economic and social. Economic infrastructure. Infrastructure associated with energy, transportation, and communication are included in economic infrastructure. Social infrastructure. Infrastructure related to education, health, and housing are included in social infrastructure. A relationship between economic and social infrastructure. Both economic and social infrastructure are interdependent. For example, the quality of transport and communication, both of these are economic infrastructure, can affect access to healthcare, which is social infrastructure. Similarly, air pollution and safety hazard connected to transportation also affect morbidity, that is, proneness to fall ill, particularly in densely populated areas. Importance or relevance of infrastructure. First, infrastructure boosts production. Infrastructure facilities such as roads, railways, airports, etc. boost production. Some of these facilities have a direct impact on production of goods and services, while others give indirect support by building the social sector of the economy. Basis of modern industrial economy. Infrastructure is the support system on which depends the efficient working of modern industrial economy. Basis of modern agriculture. Modern agriculture also largely depends on sound infrastructure for speedy and large scale transport of seeds, pesticide, fertilizers, and the produce using modern roadways, railways, and shipping facilities. In recent times, agriculture also depends on insurance and banking facilities. Contributes to economic development. Infrastructure contributes to economic development of a country both by increasing the productivity of factors of production and improving the quality of life of its people. Development of infrastructure and economic development go hand in hand. Agriculture depends to a considerable extent on the adequate expansion of development of irrigation facilities. Industrial progress depends on the development of power and electricity generation, transport, and communication. Obviously, if proper attention is not paid to the development of infrastructure, it is likely to act as a severe constraint on economic development. Finally, affects access to healthcare. The quality of transport and communication can affect access to healthcare. Inadequate infrastructure can have multiple adverse effects on health. Improvements in water supply and sanitation have a large impact by reducing morbidity from major waterborne diseases and reducing the severity of disease when it occurs. The state of infrastructure in India. Traditionally, the government has solely responsible for developing the country's infrastructure. But it was found that the government's investment in infrastructure was inadequate. Therefore, today, the private sector by itself and also in joint partnership with the public sector has started playing a very important role in infrastructure development. Relationship between national income and composition of infrastructure. For low income countries, basic infrastructure services like irrigation, transport, and power are more important. As economies develop and most of their basic consumption demands are met, the share of agriculture in the economy shrinks and more service related infrastructure is required. This is why the share of power and telecommunication infrastructure is greater in high income countries. State of rural infrastructure in India. Despite so much technical progress in the world, rural women are still using biofuels to meet their energy requirement. They walk long distances to fetch fuel, water, and other basic needs. The census of 2001 shows that in rural India, only 56% of households have an electricity connection and 43% still use kerosene. Tap water availability is limited to only 24% of rural households. About 76% of population drinks water from open sources such as wells, tanks, ponds, etc. Access to improved sanitation in rural areas was only 20%. Though infrastructure is the foundation of development, India invests only 34% of its GDP on infrastructure, which is far below that of China. Some economists have projected that India will become the third biggest economy in the world a few decades from now. For that to happen, India will have to boost its infrastructure investment. Thank you.